This is a Glassbox Media podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to My Worst Date. We are so excited to be bringing you our debut edition of Double Dates. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina. And this is our first guest kicking off Double Dates. It's Cam Potter. He is one of the co-hosts of the very popular podcast, Sex Talk with My Mom. If you haven't checked it out yet, it is a really sex positive podcast. You and your mom talk about absolutely everything, which I love. And we're so excited to have you here. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, we have to talk about how we met, though. We met at an event at the Skirball Center, which was like so random, right? I think this is the thing I love about the community, the podcasting community. Met at a podcasting event, and it was just like instantly, we were like, we like these guys.
Yeah, it was because Dr. Drew was supposed to be there, who has like a sex podcast. And I think that he still does, maybe.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, you have to stick around so that you can meet Dr. Drew later in the night. And then he never showed up. So we were just like hanging out and talking. And your mom is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I
She
absolutely
is a
love
trip.
Karen.
Yes. Yeah. And she, at these conferences, she will talk to literally everyone there.
Yeah. Yeah, she makes friends with everybody. She's just such a treat. Well, how long have you guys been doing the podcast?
We've been doing it for 6.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of sex talks.
Yeah. So much sex talk.
Yeah.
How long, how did you guys start? Like, where did this come from?
She had a YouTube channel first that was all about sex and dating. And it was being recorded in my childhood bedroom.
Perfect.
And I was like, oh my fucking God, what is going on? This is when I was at college. And I was like, what's going on at home? And eventually I started doing stand-up. And at first I had like one joke about this in my stand-up set. And then that was like the only one people would laugh at.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there's something there. And maybe we should expand it. And then it became whole sets about my mom having this cougar sex channel.
Amazing.
And then I was
Amazing.
like, okay, this is pretty much a gold mine. We should capitalize on this. And we made this podcast.
I have to know, was the bedroom still set up as your childhood bedroom, or did she convert it into like,
It's got like He-Mans in the background.
teddy bear wallpaper, or like did she convert it into like an office?
No, my childhood bedroom was already a sex dungeon.
Nice. Wow. No, great. Yeah.
No. It was a pretty bland room anyway, so she was able to easily transition to YouTube studio.
Well, we have that in common. My mom actually just started dating again, and I want to buy your mom's book for my mom because she's getting back out there, and she's already thought that she was dating like a retired general in Afghanistan. So I've had to like teach her online dating and stuff. So I really want her to listen to you guys' podcast so she could pick up some tips.
Definitely.
So I think we should dive into it. We actually started Double Dates back in the before times, the before pandemic.
Yeah.
Never did a video, but we always started them with a would you rather.
Ooh.
And so in honor of your podcast, the would you rather we came up with is, would you rather have your mom walk in on you having sex or you walk in on your mom having sex?
Oh.
I hate both of
Have
these.
you never been presented with this in 6.5 years?
No. This is definitely the first time it's been asked to me.
Okay.
So this is a wonderful would
Break
you
it
rather.
down and show your work.
Okay.
We need
Okay.
receipts.
Here's I honestly think I'd be okay. It would be very uncomfortable for me to walk in on my mom having sex.
Yeah.
But I could live through that. It would be fine. Like eventually, I'd be like, "All right, she's an adult. She should have sex. So this is fine.
Right.
Good. If she walks in on me having sex, then I have to deal with her talking to me about my sex forevermore, and that would be way worse. So I'm going to go with the former. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I agree. As trauma, in fact, I have walked in on my parents having sex. I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
Burned into my brain, and it happened when I was pretty small. So formative memory, not great. But even with that, I would rather have that happen again than ever have my mom walk in on me having
Yeah.
sex.
I-
No.
I had my mom walk in on me, not while having sex, but while learning to love my own body.
Yes.
We had one bathroom growing up in our small bedroom. So, like, I heard things happening because there were very thin walls. But she walked in, and the only thing I've ever heard about it, thankfully, was, you should lock the door.
There it is.
And that was it. But it is forever burned. That feeling of just absolute shame and embarrassment is burned into me. And this was 30 plus years ago, and it's still as crystal clear.
Yeah.
Is a formative
Yeah.
memory.
It's a wake you up in the middle of the night memory.
I'm not going to say who, but I have had a member of my family walk in on me with an ex-boyfriend doing
Wow.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might be the worst act
It was
to be, I think
yeah.
head is way worse than penetrative sex if you walked in
Oh
on it, I
God,
think.
yeah.
I don't know why that is, but I think
You're
you're,
right.
absolutely
I think
right.
You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Because I think you're more exposed, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Like if they're down there, there's a lot up here that's still open.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe that's it. It's also
don't
such
know.
a vulnerable position too.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh man, I'm so glad we started it out with
Yeah.
lots of trauma. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so
We're
much.
delighted to have you.
I have a follow-up question though.
Okay.
Chris, do you lock the door now?
Do I lock the door?
Yes.
No. And in fact, my partner walked in on me the other day.
Oh, no way!
And how'd that turn out?
Yeah. So, work from home has been great for a lot of things. Sometimes you want to take a fiver and you got ideas in your head. And so
And the fiver is her
Fiber
hand.
is all it takes.
I'm really a 2, but
Sure.
So yeah, I was taking a break, and I thought my partner was at work for the day, and he actually came home early,
wow.
like very early, and I heard the door unlock, and I was like, I had my shirt on and no pants.
Yeah. See? Which is where, yeah, you're Porky Pig in it.
Fucking poo.
You're doing a full Porky Pig situation.
Oh
Which
man.
is like, hello, and I'm like, scrambling.
So wait,
worse.
you're a full pants off. I am so nervous. I am a hands under the pants. I'm a hands under the
I
pants.
can't be obstructed.
Oh, I'm easy.
Oh, I'm the same. No, I'm not a hand under that. You need full range of motion.
I'm
You're
fine.
Like, you gotta come
God.
completely off. Yeah.
Oh no.
One of
I'm
my
a
days.
leave shirt on most of the time if I know I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to get in, you're trying to get out.
Like, I had a thing. I was like, I got 5 minutes and I'll rub one out.
Between meetings.
Very business.
You're like, I could schedule this between an 11:30, 12 right
It's the
there.
most Capricorn way you could do that. We'll pencil it in. We'll pencil in a quick fiber.
11:55 to noon.
Me time. It's pants off me time.
It's pretty funny to think that it's weird. I spend most of the day with my pants off. I'm not touching myself or anything, but I just didn't make it to pants on for the day.
That's amazing. That is a way to live life that I
Yeah.
actually strive for.
Well, you could do it. I can inspire you.
You could, because most of your calls are just really like
Yeah,
chest
that's
up.
true.
Oh, I guess for calls I put on shorts.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, I will do that.
I feel like
I don't have that comfort level. I grew up with 5 brothers and a dad. So I'm like, I have never had that comfort level to be like comfortable walking around naked.
You know me.
Yeah, you are the naked neighbor.
And listen,
And you grew
it's
up with
truly-
3 brothers.
I grew up, with 3 brothers. But you know what? I don't do it when other people are home.
Of
like,
course.
not even when my husband's home. Like, I don't walk around naked when anyone is home. It's just when I'm alone. Like, he was gone for a few days.
Oh, shit.
And it was just like fully just walking around in partial states of dress for the entire weekend. But I have to ask him, do you sleep in the nude, or
Cannot
do you
sleep in the nude.
Oh,
Cannot.
okay.
Way
Me
too much
neither.
friction.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like. I don't like parts touching. It's like sweaty.
See, that's how I feel.
I don't want
about
anything crawling up
clothes.
in there.
I feel like clothes touch me. Now, when the big one hits,
You're fucked.
screwed.
Yeah,
I'm
you're-
absolutely screwed. You should not sleep naked in California. And I got my go bag and flip flops near the bed. But that's
Do you
pretty
pair
much it.
shorts in your go bag at least?
Standing outside naked in my chanclas, just like,
Yeah.
I guess this is me
Yeah,
now.
you just
but-
got a pair of like thong flip flops
Yep.
and like a JanSport backpack.
That's it.
Naked and afraid over here.
Holding like two animals. one under each one.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. So we have to get into your dating history. Now,
We
as
have
somebody
to,
that has a podcast, a dating podcast, or even a sex podcast that had to date in LA, I thought that was very difficult.
Oh,
It
yeah.
actually, like, have you found that it impedes you? Like, some people are just like, I can't date you. You have a podcast, like, about this.
You know, I mean, there's more things that are impeding them, I think, than just that I have a podcast. You know, like, namely that I talk about sex with my mom on
Right.
a weekly basis. That's a little weirder. That but yeah, no, it can definitely be a cock block.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are into that. Like they're like, oh, he's got a good relationship with his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's not scared to talk about sex. This could be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, it's definitely where my head went. Like
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
good.
yeah, no, I think that it's funny because I think that for quite some time we've been talking about guys being able to and being more in touch with their emotions, being able to be more open with the communication, and so it to me, and maybe it just, I mean, I guess I don't know. I have a son who's 25, so in my mind, I'm like, I would feel comfortable talking to Dylan about sex. Like if he had a question or if we had conversations about it, like I wouldn't think anything of it. And I would think that like somebody would be happy that that's like you said, like,
Yeah, I think it might be more the element of having the podcast because, like, for me, Christina was always very upfront when you went on dates that, like, you have a dating podcast,
Right.
you know, like nothing ever came out of left field in that regard. But I could understand being a little hesitant.
Sure.
If you're on a date with someone, I feel like it does, like, up the pressure of, like,
Right.
am I going to end up on this podcast? Are they going to talk about me? And I feel like if you have a podcast about sex, it could be the same. Like I don't think the like with your mom would turn me off. Like I'd be like, oh, that's fine. She seems like fun. Like I want to go with Karen and like have a good time. I think it would be more like I would be so nervous. I'm like, oh, I have to do everything right on this date.
Oh,
you know,
interesting.
like
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I found. I had people, if they didn't ghost, they were like, I'm not comfortable, you know, if you're going to talk about me on the podcast.
I've had people say that, and typically at this point, I've learned just don't. I don't do it, like unless it's a story from like way long ago,
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
that really doesn't involve them whatsoever. But usually, I will not talk about my dating or love life because it just gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I used nicknames for a lot of my stories. And yeah, you wait till the time passes and then you're like, yeah, they're not listening to the show. Talk about them now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what's your worst date then?
Oh no.
Your absolute worst.
Okay. Oh man, there's worse in like a few different categories. So that's,
Okay.
I had a little
Okay.
trouble choosing.
Oh, we love it.
There was one that involved like pretty poor planning on my end.
Okay.
oh, so you were someone's worst date,
Shame receipt.
Yeah, yeah.
possibly.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, most of the worst dates are my doing.
There we go. Yeah.
Of course. No, I guess there was one where I was like, "Oh my god, this person is just horrible, and I want to get out of this immediately."
Yeah. Are you pretty good at getting out immediately?
No,
Oh no.
I'll stick around and,
Oh.
and just sit.
You're
there
like,
and
we're
be
gonna
like,
ride this
Look
train.
how nice he is.
You're a Pisces.
Yeah.
You're a Pisces, right?
Yeah.
We had this conversation.
Yeah.
that's why.
That
Yeah.
tracks.
Yeah,
That tracks.
we're like
You're, like,
we'll just
sitting.
we'll just stick it out. It'll be fine, and we'll get out when this is over. Like
Once the train stops, we'll get off, I guess.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah, just
That's-
ride this thing through. I feel you.
Yeah. Although this one, it was so bad.
Oh.
that I did get out after like half an hour.
Oh, wow.
I really had to
wow.
extricate myself. Yeah,
Ooh.
and it was a very expensive glass of wine that she decided to order.
Wow.
Of course
My
it
interest
was.
is
Always.
piqued. Why?
You like that?
No. I mean, like my interest is piqued. I want to know what happened.
Okay. Well, I guess so. It started poorly. this was not even the story I was intending to tell. But it started poorly because I matched with this girl, I think on OkCupid, maybe.
That tracks.
A long time ago, And I thought she was adorable. I thought we were going to mesh. So I messaged her. She laughed a little bit. She bantered back.
Yeah.
And then she just went radio silent.
Oh, okay.
So then maybe like a week passes. I'm like, I'll give it another shot.
Oh, okay.
Is
It's
that-
like bored on a Wednesday night or something.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can restoke the fire over here.
You're like, Game of Thrones isn't on.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I've been there.
So I tried it out.
Yeah.
Sent the second shot. Nothing. And then I was like, all right, well, maybe a third shot is a
Oh,
good
you
idea.
are a Pisces.
Oh, man.
Second and third chances here.
No, I know. You have that third glass of wine and you're like, maybe they didn't get the first two. I'm going to try one more time.
Yes. But then it went off the rails. And then there was like, at this point I was entertaining myself. I thought they were funny messages I was sending. And at a certain point it becomes funny that I'm just having a conversation with myself.
Wow.
So it went on like 6 or 7 times maybe. Okay.
Wow.
No responses.
Okay.
So
Oh my God.
Then I walk into like a very bougie, fancy restaurant in West Hollywood that my friend, who's like a K-pop star, was treating me to.
Nice.
I
Love
I'm
it
a
already.
West Hollywood resident, so
Yeah.
I'll hit you up afterwards where you went.
Yes,
so.
I don't want to get. Yeah, but this person, I walk in and this person is the hostess there, and I'm like,
No.
eye contact.
No.
Yes, and I was like, oh boy,
Oh no! And you've been messaging them without response.
yes,
Oh,
like
no.
6 or 7 times.
So
Oh
she
my God.
thinks
Months
that
out of my
you
skin.
are
Yes.
stalking her.
yes, yes.
Oh,
yes.
no.
Already bad. But I don't say anything. I just go sit down with my friends and we're having some drinks, and now I'm like feeling loose, and I have to call out the elephant in the room.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah. You
I
have to. What are you going to do?
Messaging this person for like the past 3 months, and she's not responding.
Oh my God! So you
So I walked to the hostess stand, and I said, "Hey, do you recognize me?"
Oh, no.
And she goes, "Yeah, you do look familiar. How do I know you?" And I was like, "Well, I've been messaging you." Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, really? I didn't realize that." She said something like, "Oh, you look different in person."
Okay.
And she's kind of being flirtatious back,
Okay.
and I'm like,
You're like,
"Holy
this
fuck.
isn't what I was expecting.
Yes,
This is
it's-
taking a turn.
It really was." And so then we ended up exchanging phone numbers at the end of the night. And she's like, I was like, let's go on a date. She's like, all right, let's do it.
Okay.
We show up for the date. I don't know what changed, but she is ice cold. Maybe she went home and read the messages.
That's what happened.
100%.
swear to God.
That is what
Read them.
happened.
She
Yeah.
hadn't read them before.
Yeah.
Then you
No,
got there and you were like, I've been messaging you for 3 months. And she was like,
Oh,
oh,
shit. I
okay.
haven't even been
And
on
you're
that app.
kinda cute.
I deleted that app.
She goes
know.
on. She's like,
Oh,
no.
shit.
Yes. And then she feels locked in. And she shows up for the date.
Oh, no.
And then it
Arms
was
crossed.
she's like, I'm ordering a good glass of wine if I'm going to be here.
Oh. Yeah. We know her.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And by I know her, I mean,
I'm both
it might be
people on
me.
this date.
I shouldn't have done it. She shouldn't have done it. No one should. This should never have happened. And it ended 30 minutes later. In
Mercifully.
misery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Those are rough dates. I had one of those like at downtown.
yeah,
So
you-
first I had to get downtown from
Oh.
West Hollywood,
Oh.
which is like already
Yeah.
Geographically
invest-
undesirable.
invested.
Horrible.
Yeah. And it was like a half an hour date. It's like that. Is that even worth driving
shorter
downtown
than
for?
the car ride. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not
Ugh.
worth it.
Yeah. Well, what were the worst dates you were intending to tell then? Where
No,
you were the
no.
worst date?
Well, one of them, I guess it was poor planning. I suggested a picnic in Silver Lake Meadows.
Oh,
Okay.
So far, so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
yeah.
I suggested 7:30 at night.
That's too late.
Too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
Too
Yeah. What
late.
time of year
Mosquitoes.
are we
It
talking
depends
about?
because
Yeah.
summertime,
That's true.
that's not
Yeah.
too late. That's actually right before sunset, and that would be, I think,
Golden
an
hour,
appropriate
beautiful.
time.
But
So
mosquitoes.
I thought so too. That but it wasn't summertime. It was winter time.
Oh,
Okay,
so
yeah.
it's like
been
pitch
dark
dark.
for
Yeah.
4 hours
Yeah,
at that
I
point.
lost track. I lost track of the seasons. And so I showed up and it was pitch dark.
Pitch dark in a park.
Yes.
First date.
Yes.
no.
And I
She
had
didn't
all-
even come, did she?
No one's there.
No one.
So I spread out a whole fucking thing.
Meanwhile, this chick's like thinking she's going to be on Dateline.
She's like, I will
feel
be
like,
murdered.
Cam,
if
I gotta tell you, I feel like you gotta pivot at that point. Like once you realize you get there, you're like, it's dark. There's nobody here.
No
it's like
way.
an abandoned.
I got a
lake.
fucking charcuterie board going. Oh, I got the wine. I'm going, we're doing the date. Why not?
Yeah, like
Dark
it's done.
date.
Just sit in the dark.
Just sit in the dark.
Did you have candles or?
No. I wasn't. I literally was expecting sunlight. I wasn't expecting darkness.
no.
Oh, wow.
Only in LA could you lose track of the seasons. You're
Yes.
like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
true.
what month it is. Who knows?
That is true.
It's so warm out.
Yeah.
Well, so then she shows up. She's a little weirded out that I'm sitting in the dark on a picnic blanket.
She
First
doesn't even
date.
see you at first. You're like, Marco.
And then, yes, somehow the date starts. It's going all right. And
Okay.
we're getting to
Can't
know
really
each
see
other.
each other,
Can't
but-
really see each other. It's a blind date.
Could be.
It's really.
Literally.
Could be a benefit, to be honest. You
Yes.
know, like I'm like sometimes I'm like, thank God for low lighting. I'm in it.
I wasn't really feeling my makeup this evening,
That's
but
right.
But then we do see something move in the shadows.
oh no.
and I'm like, oh fuck, what is that? And
No.
Is it a
it
possum?
starts approaching us, and it's a coyote.
Of the things, that wasn't the thing.
A fucking coyote approaches, and
It wants that meat.
It wants
it
that.
fucking wants a charcuterie board for
Yes.
sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
You're
I
just
throw some
throwing-
prosciutto at it and fucking bounce, dude.
That's kind of what I did. I was like, we gotta go.
I mean, did you take her with you, or were you just like, bye?
I stood in front of her. Shiver.
Very
yeah,
nice.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
She
And you
was-
guys aren't married. That's weird. This is what my
We kind of backed away together, and then the coyote did start eating our food.
yes. And it's still there today, actually. You can go to Silver Lake Park and still find
has
that,
really good
that
taste.
board
Yeah.
and the blanket.
Can't go back to eating pigeons after that.
And she was like a no-go after that date. She
No,
was
we
like,
went a few more. After
Oh,
that.
good. Okay.
okay, all right.
During the sunlight. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
she
fact
was
that
really
she
nice to you.
stuck it out, I was like, she's coming back for more. For sure. For sure.
Well, that's because you put yourself
Thank
between
you.
her and the coyote.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
you needed to do if you wanted that second date. You
Yeah.
put in
Thank
the
you.
work for
I did.
it.
I
I
did.
would give you a second date too, just for that. I'd be like, well, I mean, at his own, peril.
Thank you for Thank
Yeah.
you for letting me see the silver lining in this one.
Exactly. So, are you dating anyone now? Or are you still, out on the dating scene?
I'm recent. I'm surprised. I haven't had a date in a long time, and like this past week,
You're
3
kidding.
different people tried to set me up with people. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
wow.
so funny because I'm literally just sitting here right now thinking about somebody that I would totally set you up with. I'm not going to lie. This is a coworker, and I'm like, that would be such a good match.
Is it the coworker I know?
No, you do
No.
not.
Okay.
Should we get her on the line?
Give her a call real
Call
quick.
her out real quick. Put her
She'd
on
be
speaker.
like,
So you didn't date really through the pandemic?
I mean, I went on some dates. There were a couple little relationships, but no like serious relationships.
Yeah, I was wondering what that would be like to go on like first dates during the pandemic here in LA. Was it a thing?
It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of Zoom dates.
Oh no, thank
I'm so
you.
sorry.
I can think of nothing I would like to do less than that. That sounds truly awful. I don't want to be on Zoom for one more thing.
Especially at this point. I think 2020 we were like, oh, this is fun.
Remember
That's
when we
cute.
had Zoom birthday parties and we played
Mine,
like it
mine was a
fucking
Zoom
A.
birthday party. My 30th birthday party was a Zoom birthday party. And you know what? We were like, we're making the best of this.
Yeah.
We're only going to be in lockdown for 2 weeks because it was early. It was in March.
wow.
And so I was like, yeah, so I was like, we're gonna just muscle through this. And by like end of year 1, I'm like, I spent way too much money on Jackbox games.
Yeah.
Never again. I'm like, I'm never
Never wanna
using
play it
these. Like,
again.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to play these anymore. So a Zoom date, maybe in the first 3 months of the pandy, I would have been like, this is kind of cute and quirky, and we're gonna get out of this and meet in real life. If we were
Now?
into 2021,
Nah.
trying to do a Zoom date, absolutely no, hard pass.
Yeah, I kind of like them, to be honest.
Oh,
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us all
Well,
about
you don't have
it.
to wear pants.
I don't need to wear pants.
That's true.
Although, I feel like when someone else is on the line, I do put on some shorts or something.
Yeah.
But I don't like the drive and then
Yeah.
Okay.
you meet them and you're like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. So
point.
Because screening,
Absolutely. No, it's something that we've talked about on our podcast before. Something I learned is that you don't really get a sense of somebody through text
Right.
so much that I liked to get people on the phone just because I like to hear their voice, their cadence. I think that can show you a lot about how someone forms thoughts and who they are. And it really saved me a lot of times because I get people on the phone. I'm like, I can't sit with them in a restaurant. That would be miserable. So
yeah.
no, I can see how like a Zoom first date wouldn't be a breaker for me now. But
Yeah. Most people I talk to don't want to do it though.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty over like just being on the
Well, I
Camera.
told you I'm just looking at myself the whole time anyway.
Exactly.
So it's I can't help it. It's like if I'm on a Zoom call,
Yes.
like 9 times out of 10, I'm like trying to stop myself from looking at myself. So I'm like, I'm not absorbing what you're trying to talk. I'd rather be on the
Yeah.
phone, to be honest. I'd rather be on the phone.
I do make it romantic and ask for a FaceTime instead.
okay.
Zoom,
I
necessarily.
do prefer a face. I
too.
actually prefer camera across the board. Like a Zoom, I would do a Zoom over a phone call. I'm a visual person. I like to see facial expressions. I tell you everything with my face anyway. You're going to know immediately how I feel about you. It's all right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very. So I feel the same way about other people. Like I feel like I can read people better. I can understand.
Yeah.
So I would be much more into the Zoom versus a phone call.
I'm also very cheap. So, not only are you saving on gas, but then you don't have an expensive bar or restaurant bill.
That's true.
So,
Very good point.
That's
just
true.
nice.
That is true.
Okay. What if you had a Zoom date and then you sent them like a grizzly or something, like a wine,
Oh, that's
right?
cool.
That would be
leveling
cool.
up.
Baller move.
It's
That
truly
is a
because
fucking baller
That's
move.
exactly what I was thinking. Is like for me, I feel like you're sucking some of the romance out of it,
Right?
doing like a Zoom date. So you want to incorporate
That would
something
be fun.
feels
But then-
thoughtful.
Then you'd have to have a. I'm going to call kibosh on this. This is how you get datelined because then you have to give that person your address.
You actually don't, because I had a grizzly from my boss from work for like my 1-year anniversary, and I had to put in my own address.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
So you
so
send
you-
it, like send it to their email, and then they like finalize
I
the
see.
orders.
So if you
is a
don't want it to be a
brilliant
surprise,
idea.
we're giving you tips here.
Yeah, sorry.
Gold information.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, also, I guess for me, I hate the drive. Driving and parking in LA, nothing can switch like my switch faster.
It's the
than,
parking.
like,
It's the
I will be
parking
in a
for
good
me.
mood, and if I have to do one lap to try and find a parking spot, immediately in a bad
Forget
mood.
it.
Immediately in a bad mood.
Gas is over $6. We can't be doing this shit.
However, what I will say is, I'm not trying to fall in love with somebody who lives on the other side of town. Okay. I don't want to fall in love with somebody who lives in Torrance. I'm not doing it.
Right.
So I need to know going in. If we're doing a Zoom meeting, it's like, I'm glad that we're saving on gas, but if you live really far away, you need to disclose that information immediately.
I know. I just found myself in the situation last night.
Amazing.
Yeah. My friend set me up with someone and she's like, oh, I think you guys really vibe. I'm like, okay. And then I found out she lives on the complete other side of town than me.
Okay.
And so now I don't know. I'm like, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
No.
It's not going to work. I went with one date with somebody lovely that lived in Pasadena, and it was just like,
No.
no. No.
It's
what
not
are you going to do? Like, across
It's not
however
you, it's
many...
Pasadena.
It's your apartment.
you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, my God.
And I love Pasadena, but
Yeah.
also Pasadena is one of those places that like getting in and out of Pasadena is
Yeah.
like
A whole thing.
a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Sorry.
wow.
Man.
LA dating.
So, any other bad dates to share? Anything to dish?
I went on one date in Venice.
Okay. Yeah.
And the person was very witchy.
Ah.
I like a witchy vibe.
I love a witchy
Of
vibe.
course you do. Of course you do.
Until she starts telling me ghost stories
Oh my
of
god.
the different hauntings of Venice.
Oh, she took you on a ghost tour of
Took me on a
Venice.
fucking ghost tour.
I actually am really into it.
I'm riveted.
I know,
love
I
it.
actually am
What's her
like,
name?
Can
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Sign me
hook us up with
Can
her?
we go on a date with her?
You know, I started off fun, and then I started getting real freaked out. And I was like, it's just way too much. I had to sit down on like a stoop, and we had to like relax and take deep breaths. I can't do horror movies.
Yeah.
I can't do the ghost stores. Yeah.
I don't like ghost movies, or I don't like scary movies either.
I don't like that shit. I definitely not on a date for me.
I'm too much of an empath and feel it too much in real life, so
Yeah.
I don't need it in fake life.
Yeah. That was a bad date for me.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I could actually, I can appreciate that.
Thank you.
I mean, as somebody who also to me, I love a ghost tour. I love that thing, but it has to be very small doses for me. Like
Yeah.
I'm the person who's like, if there's going to be some spooky event happen, it will happen to me.
Yeah.
It will happen to me. I will be the person who invites the fucking spirit home with them. And now I'm not dating you. I'm dating fucking Ruth from fucking Venice.
I watch horror movies to relax.
Oh,
You
So
sure do.
This
You
is
do.
I want her number. I'm like, we can hang
Holy
out.
shit. I mean, she was cool, but I was like, if I had to live in this state of mind all day long,
It'd be a lot.
it'd be a
So
lot.
no second date then.
There was no second date.
There's no
I-
second
I'm
date.
too freaked out.
See, that's kind of a red flag for me too. I think not because it scares me so much, but I'm such a skeptic that I don't like any believers of any kind.
Of any kind. You're like, oh, you believe in God? Okay, I'm out.
Well, no, I just don't. I'm like, how do you believe in anything? I've never believed in anything in my whole life, so I get skeptical of people that are like this.
She went
You
to
know what I
Catholic
mean?
church.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
Catholic
like, I don't
school, yeah.
believe in
Or
anything.
Catholic school.
So,
That's what I meant.
I'm like, I don't not believe in ghosts, but I also don't believe in
But
ghosts.
I don't like it if you believe too much.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Believe
It's
a
like-
reasonable amount.
Like light believe.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Like we're having fun. We're all having fun here. Belief, right?
We're
Like,
all
not
having
like-
fun talking about the ghosts, but we don't like
Yeah,
you know,
diet
I-
belief.
Not
Yeah.
like you're gonna get your you're gonna like flip on me any second, because we've definitely had stories like that where they're like they'll say something and it'll be like, ha, that's funny, and they're like, no, for real,
No, but
Yeah.
seriously.
but seriously,
Yeah.
there's a
I-
ghost right behind you.
No,
No,
like,
thank you. No, too far. Too far.
Don't even say those words.
Too far. Too far.
Do you have any like red flags? Like we don't get to talk to guys that much
Red
because it's
flag.
it's
No,
us
yeah.
girls, and then we've had girls like
Yeah.
interviews and stuff. So I'm like, I want to hear some red flags.
I think the classics like the person doesn't ask any questions. They're only talking about themselves, or they're asking too many questions. And I'm getting no information. They have no edge. There's that type of thing.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Do you ever feel like people talk about themselves too much just because they're like nervous? I could see myself doing that, where I'm just like, I have to fill every bit of silence because otherwise I'm just like so uncomfortable.
You're like, eating be damned. I'm going to tell you everything about me.
You're like, my third grade teacher was Mrs. Smith, and she.
yes, definitely. And it is kind of the opposite approach that I have. Like I will sit in silence for like way too long, and the person will be like, okay, this is getting fucking awkward.
Yeah, no, that would trigger me too. Like, on a first date, like silence, you get to a point where you can have comfortable silence with people. But
First date's tough, though.
first date is tough to feel that, like, just sit there and just like, I don't know, let's eat your salad.
I think that there's too like this thing that weighs over every relationship that you get into, like of the what if we run out of things to talk about, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like I feel like when I first met Chris, I was definitely like, oh man, this is great. What if we run out of things to talk about?
Yeah, totally.
I feel that way if I meet anybody
It's true.
at any time at this point. Like, I think that the pandemic is really like, we were just talking about this off mic, but like the pandemic has really like sucked my energy to the point where if I have to meet new people, I get myself
It's
like
really hard.
so keyed up about like, I have to be funny, I have to be entertaining, I have to be these things. And so I'll either completely shut down or do too much and then spend the whole next day in like a, overshare vulnerability like
Spiral.
about like, oh no, what did I say to them, and now they hate me, I'm sure, so I can't imagine going on a first date. Truly. I'm like,
Especially at this point. Yeah. Yeah. It's,
At this point, at the end of the world.
No.
I'm like the Murtaugh thing. I'm like, I'm too old for this shit. Yeah. Just like can't do it. There's too many things going on in the world right now. So
Yeah.
I wish you all so much.
Thank you so much.
we all just said that. We're like, oh man, it's terrible out there. Good luck.
I mean, but could you imagine if I was like, I could see myself out there right now? Chris would be like, excuse me?
I mean, what apps are you on?
Are
you on Raya? Because you have a podcast. You're famous. You should be on Raya.
You should be on Raya.
Should be on Raya.
Wait, why?
We should get you on Raya.
Let's
That's what we're
Wait,
gonna
are
do.
you kidding?
The new mission.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're famous
Why do you
enough.
guys like Raya so much?
I don't know, because maybe you can date like Jennifer Garner or something.
Yeah.
Oh my
She's single.
Why do I
God.
want to do that? Like,
What's wrong with Jennifer Garner? What, you got a problem with Jennifer Garner?
No, I'm just saying.
Got their Capital One money. You should be so lucky.
I feel like the people on Raya think that they're celebrities or
Yes.
something like that.
You're right. They
That's
do.
not
No,
a fun.
I
You're
really-
right. They do.
Cool.
I'm not going to lie to you. I want you to be on Raya just so I know what it's like on Raya.
Also, yeah, we'll bring you back on the show and
yeah.
talk to
yeah.
you about
Raya update.
Do it
dates.
for
Oh
us.
my
Do it for us. 'cause
All right,
I
fine.
mean, honestly.
But yeah,
Make a
no.
slideshow.
What,
Yes.
what apps are you
Presentation.
on? Then? You mentioned OkCupid
No, I'm not in
earlier,
OkCupid anymore.
which
I'm
was
glad.
like,
I'm glad
Thank
you're not
God.
on there anymore.
beige.
She does.
He's like, I've given it all up for plenty of fish.
I'm on Hinge and Bumble.
There you go.
Okay.
Do you do the voice prompts on Hinge?
No.
Oh,
I did it first, and then I was told I still
Don't
like
do it.
Mickey Mouse. And then I'm
TikToks,
done.
TikToks with the Hinge prompts, people reading them, and they are gold. They're
Oh
so
my
gold.
God.
Yeah, I would definitely. I would advise people to steer clear from that. I think out of context, it's just too weird.
It
I would
is
be
strange,
too
right?
self-conscious to do that.
But interestingly, it's the first thing I want to click on when I see that it's available.
Oh,
Really?
100%.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
The shit
Which is
that
why you know you shouldn't do it.
You
'cause
shouldn't
you're
do
like,
it.
I want that.
I want you to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want
Not
one.
me. But,
Yeah.
no, I would. I would too. I would click on all of them, and I would just. I would play them for everybody. That's why I wouldn't do them.
No.
no,
Never.
But
I also
everyone
think
else
that,
should.
you know, for someone who has 2 podcasts, I think that my voice is pretty annoying. So I'm like, I don't want to come out the gate with
Yeah.
that. I got to come out with my best material, like good selfies and good lighting from the right angle. Like that's what's going up on my profile.
That's
okay?
See, I excel at like the first phone call or like the very first date. I've got a nice tight 5.
Yep.
You know, I'm ready. I'm ready for the Comedy Store. So, you know, so,
But
yeah.
why aren't you on Tinder? Is there a reason?
I think Tinder's kind of like, I don't know, a little outdated or something.
Okay.
Tinder's not hot now.
Tinder's
You heard
not
it here
hot
first.
anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I did start paying for Bumble.
Okay.
That was a
Oh.
progression.
That's big.
I've
Yeah.
heard that that's like the only way actually to like
Find
really
anyone.
get matches.
I've started
You have
getting a
to
lot
pay
more
to play.
matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. But
Man, they really do. They've like really
gotcha.
priced.
Well, it's $1 billion industry. What do they want you to like find somebody and fall in love and get off the apps? No, they don't.
Well, but
They
I
don't.
think that it's not like they're going to run out of single people. Like, you know, they've
Or
matched up
non-single
all
people. Those are also
Yeah.
on the apps.
also true.
I was on Field for a little bit.
Whoa, what's that?
That's
Wait,
you don't know what
tell
Field
me
is?
everything.
No.
Wait, what?
Field is like the thing for like polyamorous or like it's a kink positive site.
Yeah.
I checked it out for a little while.
Well, how was
Nice.
that experience for both of you?
Didn't meet up with anyone. Saw a lot of interesting pics.
Saw a lot of interesting profiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun community though.
Yeah, it really is. I think people, when you're that open about it, it's something that I really appreciated about the kink community is the fact that they're willing to be open and sex positive in a way that I think is really healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I did feel a little out like I shouldn't be there a little bit just because I'm pretty vanilla relative to these people.
Same.
And so then I was like, I'm just kind of looking for someone to hang out with. This is maybe not the right place for me. 'Cause
Right.
She's looking to get like strung up and whipped and shit like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll do that, but I'm just
You're like, I mean, I
I'll
guess
do
I
it.
can.
I can do it.
I can do it. I have the physical capabilities of doing it, but
You want someone who's really enthusiastic about it.
Right,
And that's-
right.
I'm not that
Exactly.
person.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that's fun.
Yeah,
Well,
I want somebody enthusiastic to string me up as well.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, Well, we really appreciate you sharing all this stuff with us.
Oh my God.
Anytime. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Literally. Oh wait.
Whoa.
Oh, too soon. Too soon. Too soon. He did.
he's not
he
wearing
did wear.
pants.
You don't know that he's wearing pants, but we're pretty sure he has them on. Cam, tell everybody where they can find you and sex talk with your mom, all that.
You can find me on Instagram or any social media at Single Cam Comedy. And you can find the podcast Sex Talk with My Mom wherever you're listening to this. We'd love to have you there.
Yeah.
No, it's really great. You guys absolutely should check it out. We really, really appreciate you guys coming on. And yeah, check out the rest of our stuff on YouTube. We will have double dates coming once a month, every month. And we love you so much.
Cheers.
I wasn't expecting. I didn't know that was coming.
They should have prepped you.
At the end, cheers. Cheers.
Wait.
We always do
Box
that.
water.
Okay, here we
Cheers.
go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media podcast.